I'm going to continue here and give you a few more examples of interpreting visions and understanding dreams, and as related to your meditation and psychic development. And what comes to mind is if we think of dragons, so imagine you have this vision of catching a dragon or some kind of a creature, whether it's animated or in actual reality. So you're seeing yourself jumping to the water, you grab a dragon and you hold it. So that vision that spirit is placing in someone's head is really showing you, well, you're going to catch a little bit of luck here. Dragons are exceptionally lucky, also rare and not rare, if one can understand that. So there's something that you're going to be given, you're going to win something, get extra money, but there's definitely good luck on the way. Also, depending on the size of the dragon, the bigger it is, the bigger the windfall or the amount of luck or this good news that's going to come, but it will come in some tangible form into your life. Another vision that can come up fairly often depending on what's happening in people's lives. So the vision quite simply is showing someone in some kind of a well. In other words, they can't get out this well, there's no way of crawling out of it. So this person, what spirit is showing you, this person is sort of trapped in some situation in their life, some hole that they can't get out of, and you would need to look at other guidance, what spirit is giving you in terms of how do we get this person out, what kind of information, what do they need to do in their lives to get themselves out of this hole that they're in. Is it that they have no work for quite some time, so they find themselves stuck in a situation that they can't seem to get out of? So there is these kind of meanings behind this. Not a good situation, because it's not about just being unable to do things, it's that feeling of being trapped, helpless in a sense. So this is what spirit is trying to convey here. And then so it was in the 90s, or what was it, Hale-Bopp and Halley's Comet. So Hale-Bopp, the comets arrived I think in the 97, 98, somewhere around about there. So while meditating, I saw this vision of a comet flying through my mind, and as I looked out the window there, I could actually see the comet in the sky. So quite easy, spirit was actually showing me something that was coming, and it had no other meaning besides that in the vision, just to make me aware of what was in the sky. And as we know, in ancient Maya times, they always looked out for comets. They knew when the comets would return, because the comet would signify big changes, big positive changes, especially with one's spiritual development, which is something I'm going to go into at a later point. So you can imagine now seeing a comet or even an asteroid. So this was one morning a few years back. As I awoken, I was in the matrix, and as I looked to my left, entity was standing there, someone that has guided me since very young, and he was pointing upwards and freaking out and saying, "Look up, that day I told you about is coming." And as I looked up, you could see this flaming fireball of the asteroid coming towards Earth. And as it hit that moment, is really when I woke up, and it was absolutely vivid, almost as if I was experiencing it. So that shock, it's almost like, should I tell everyone there's an asteroid coming? But when you dream of an asteroid, something like that, it has a different meaning, and one can even look it up. It's quite simple. So this spoke about the pandemic that was coming, in other words, that shutdown. So it speaks of catastrophic destruction on a big level. So it's really symbolical here in your dream matrix, and not really telling you that an asteroid or comet is going to hit the Earth in particular. So, so when you start to see the difference, you start to understand these meanings. Often what is seen in meditations and in psychic circles, when people start to make progress, they start to understand the process as they're moving forward. So instead of just seeing a white horse or being on the white horse running So in other words, having that spiritual power where you can start to enter the spirit world, start to move forward. Here is the Pegasus, the flying horse or the winged horse. So your consciousness, you're able to take off. Your spiritual power has grown to such an extent that not only are you able to move forward with the speed, you're able to take off and fly through the ethers, fly through the astral or the higher worlds. So this power is really brought to you just to let you know that there is this deity and this totem that is with you. Also, what can come up is ladders, like we have Jacob's ladder. So he's dreaming of a ladder. In other words, it's showing him the steps to higher consciousness as he's dreaming, or his dream matrix is showing him while you entering a state of higher consciousness where you're able to commune with angels or commune with higher beings of light and truth. So if you had to see that in a dream, it would be symbolical of making progress, but it would really come in as a vision into your matrix. So you're climbing a ladder, you're climbing upward, you're making progress step by step of the way. So you are climbing up into a higher vibration on your spiritual growth. So imagine climbing up the ladder halfway or up, and all the pieces of the ladder start to crumble and you fall down. It's showing that your connection to the higher world has been broken for whatever reason, and you need to work on it to re-establish that connection once again, that rainbow bridge. It's not always easy understanding visions or even being able to interpret them. Sometimes only later, when some of these things transpire, only then do we understand what we were really seeing. And for instance, at first I once saw a vision of imagine a red rock. So that rock with iron or hematite in it, it's got a reddish color to it. And in the red rock it had a straight line with stripes going through it. So I couldn't really figure out what this meant. But looking at the symbolism of this, the rock is something ancient, the rock of ages. So it's something solid, something that's been created millions of years ago. So when we look at the writing on the rock, in other words, we're talking about the horizontal, speaking about the lifelines of humanity, the life waves of humanity. So the horizontal will represent the earthly reality. So when we're looking at each stripe that's going through, Spirit is saying, well, were you created in the first root race of the creation of humans? 2 stripes the second, 3 stripes the third root race, or the 4th root race. So as I said, it's not easy to understand, but yeah, Spirit, if you've got 1 stripe on this line and it's white on the red rock, Spirit's really telling you, or an ancient being's telling you, you are from a specific root race or specific wave of humanity that was created either in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd or 4th round. So this is something that you will need to figure out on your own if Spirit doesn't give it to you. In other words, were you from the continent of Mu, or Lemuria, or Atlantis, or from this world that we now find ourselves in? So just again to show you how easy and how complicated understanding visions can be. I hope you enjoyed this and this information that's come through, and I hope it helps for your own spiritual growth with what you're doing in your meditations.